Long before the War of the Ring, before the eye of Sauron rose openly above Mordor, a shadow settled over the southern reaches of Mirkwood. The forest was different then. Its trees stretched endlessly beneath a dim canopy, and ancient paths disappeared into silence. Travelers who entered those woods often spoke of an unease they could not explain, as though something unseen was watching from beyond the darkness. At the heart of that growing dread stood a fortress known as Dol Guldur, the Hill of Sorcery. From a distance, it appeared little more than a ruin reclaimed by time. Yet beneath its broken walls, a hidden power was taking root. At first, even the wise did not know who dwelled there. They sensed only a presence, cold, patient, and strangely deliberate. As the years passed, the darkness surrounding Dol Guldur spread beyond its stone foundations. Creatures fled, shadows deepened, rumors traveled farther than armies ever could. The fortress became a wound upon the landscape, a place where fear seemed to gather naturally. Most accounts describe Dol Guldur as a refuge where Sauron concealed himself while rebuilding his strength. Perhaps that is true, yet the location itself raises a question few people ever ask. Why did he choose this place at all? For most readers, the story seems straightforward. After the downfall of Morgoth, and after his own defeat at the end of the Second Age, Sauron was diminished. He could no longer dominate Middle-earth openly. He needed time, secrecy, and a place where he could recover beyond the sight of his enemies. Dol Guldur appears to fit that explanation perfectly. And yet, the more closely we look, the less complete that answer feels. If hiding was truly Sauron's only goal, there were countless remote places where he might have vanished. Middle-earth was vast, filled with forgotten valleys, ruined lands, and distant wilderness. Instead, he established himself in a fortress that stood near important roads, powerful kingdoms, and some of the most significant regions in the north. Even more curious is the way his influence spread from Dol Guldur. The shadow creeping through Mirkwood did not expand randomly. It reached toward places that mattered. Trade routes grew dangerous. Neighboring realms felt increasing pressure. The fortress seemed positioned not merely to conceal power, but to project it. These details are easy to overlook when viewed separately. Yet when they're placed together, they form a pattern that is difficult to ignore. Sauron may have been rebuilding his strength in Dol Guldur, but perhaps rebuilding was never the fortress's only purpose. And once those pieces are assembled, a far larger possibility begins to emerge. To understand Dol Guldur, we must first step back and look at the map of Middle-earth itself. Viewed in isolation, the fortress appears to be little more than a dark stronghold hidden within a troubled forest. Viewed from above, however, an entirely different picture begins to emerge. Dol Guldur stood near the southern edge of Mirkwood, overlooking lands that connected many of the North's most important regions. To the west lay the great river Anduin, one of the chief pathways through Middle-earth. Beyond it stood Lorien, a realm protected by ancient wisdom and elven power. To the north were the Woodland Realm and the territories that guarded the approaches to Erebor and Dale. Farther south stretched the routes that eventually led toward Gondor and Mordor. This was not an isolated corner of the world. It was a crossroads. From Dol Guldur, pressure could be applied in several directions at once. Trade could be disrupted. Alliances could be threatened. Fear could spread through neighboring lands without the need for open war. The fortress occupied a position that allowed its shadow to reach far beyond its walls. The more one studies its location, the harder it becomes to believe that Sauron's choice was accidental. Every road, river, and kingdom surrounding Dol Guldur seems to increase its importance. And yet, even this strategic advantage leaves one question unanswered. Geography explains where Sauron settled, but not why he remained so committed to this place for centuries. If secrecy had been Sauron's only objective, Dol Guldur was a strange choice. The fortress was hidden within the depths of Mirkwood, yet it never truly concealed its presence. In fact, the opposite seems to have happened. Year after year, its shadow became more visible. The forest around it grew darker. Paths once traveled with confidence became places of unease. Strange creatures appeared in increasing numbers. Spiders multiplied beneath the trees. Travelers carried stories of fear beyond the forest borders. Even those who had never seen Dol Guldur began to feel its influence through rumor alone. That is what makes the fortress so intriguing. A truly hidden refuge leaves little trace of its existence. Dol Guldur, however, announced itself to the world. Its growing darkness attracted attention from the wise, from neighboring kingdoms, and eventually from the White Council itself. The fortress became a focal point, a threat everyone could see. But what if that visibility was not a failure? What if drawing attention was part of the design? As the eyes of Middle-earth turned toward the shadow in Mirkwood, Sauron gained something valuable. Time. Time to observe, to prepare, and perhaps to advance plans that remained invisible precisely because everyone was watching Dol Guldur. And if the fortress was serving as a distraction, then the real story may have been unfolding somewhere else entirely. As the shadow of Dol Guldur continued to grow, the wise became increasingly concerned. Among them were some of the greatest minds in Middle-earth, figures whose wisdom had guided kingdoms through ages of turmoil. They watched the fortress carefully, gathering fragments of information and attempting to understand the power rising within the forest. From their perspective, they were the observers. They debated the nature of the threat. They questioned whether the mysterious figure dwelling in Dol Guldur was truly Sauron or merely one of his servants. Years passed as they weighed possibilities, argued over risks, and struggled to reach agreement. Every decision was made with caution, because the consequences of being wrong could be catastrophic. Yet there is another way to view this story. While the White Council studied Dol Guldur, Sauron may have been studying them. Every hesitation revealed their fears. Every debate exposed their divisions. Every delayed response told him how quickly or how slowly his enemies might act when faced with uncertainty. In that sense, Dol Guldur became more than a fortress. It became a test. The wise believed they were measuring the strength of the darkness gathering in Mirkwood. Meanwhile, the darkness may have been measuring them, learning their habits, mapping their reactions, discovering the limits of their unity. The fortress, it seems, was gathering more than armies. It was gathering knowledge. In the year 2941 of the Third Age, the White Council finally acted. After years of uncertainty and debate, they moved against Dol Guldur and forced Sauron to abandon the fortress. To many, it appeared to be a decisive victory. The shadow had been driven from Mirkwood, and one of the greatest threats in the north seemed to have been removed. On the surface, the story appears simple. Yet the timing is difficult to ignore. Long before the White Council arrived, Sauron had already begun turning his attention elsewhere. Preparations were quietly unfolding in Mordor. Old strongholds were being strengthened. Servants were gathering. Plans that would eventually shape the War of the Ring were already moving forward beneath the surface of history. When viewed from that perspective, his departure from Dol Guldur feels strangely convenient. Rather than suffering a devastating defeat, Sauron may have left at exactly the moment he intended to. The White Council celebrated the capture of an empty prize, while the Dark Lord continued advancing toward a far greater objective. This possibility changes the meaning of the event entirely. What looked like a victory may have been the final act of a strategy that had already succeeded. By the time his enemies believed they had disrupted his plans, the most important work may have been finished. The fortress, perhaps, had already served its purpose. By now, a different picture of Dol Guldur begins to emerge, not as a refuge for a weakened Dark Lord, and not merely as a fortress hidden within a forest, but as a carefully positioned instrument of influence. Its greatest weapon may never have been the armies it could raise. It may have been the attention it commanded. For decades, the shadow of Dol Guldur occupied the thoughts of Middle-earth's leaders. The White Council watched it. The elves of Lorien worried about it. The kingdoms of the north adjusted their plans around it. Even when no battle was being fought, resources, time, and concern were constantly drawn toward the growing darkness in Mirkwood. That attention had value. Every hour spent discussing Dol Guldur was an hour not spent looking elsewhere. Every effort devoted to containing the threat helped shape how Sauron's enemies understood the world around them. Without launching a major war, he was already influencing their decisions. In this light, Dol Guldur appears less like a hiding place and more like a strategic anchor for fear itself. It fixed the gaze of Middle-earth upon a visible threat, while other preparations unfolded beyond that gaze. The remarkable thing is how long this strategy endured. For generations, the fortress remained at the center of concern, quietly shaping the priorities of entire realms. Yet fear was only one layer of the design. The deeper significance of Dol Guldur may have reached beyond strategy and into something far more symbolic. There is another reason Dol Guldur may have mattered to Sauron, one that cannot be measured by armies, roads, or military advantage. Some places carry memories. Long after battles end and kingdoms fade, the land itself seems to remember what happened there. The region surrounding southern Mirkwood had witnessed centuries of struggle, loss, and uncertainty. They stood close to territories where great powers had risen and fallen, where the wounds of earlier ages had never completely healed. Sauron understood something that many rulers overlook. Fear is strongest when it awakens old memories. Dol Guldur did more than cast a shadow across the forest. It revived a feeling that Middle-earth had hoped was gone forever. The fortress reminded elves, men, and dwarves that the darkness of the past had not truly disappeared. It had merely been waiting. In that sense, the Hill of Sorcery became a monument. Not a monument built to inspire hope or victory, but one designed to keep ancient fears alive. Every rumor, every darkened path, every tale carried from Mirkwood strengthened that message. The psychological power of such a place is difficult to overstate. Even those who never saw its walls could feel its presence. And perhaps that was the point, because when fear becomes part of memory, it survives far longer than stone. And that legacy would survive long after Sauron left. When people think of Sauron, they often imagine overwhelming force. Vast armies marching beneath dark banners, towering fortresses, and the raw power of a being who once sought dominion over all Middle-earth. Yet the story of Dol Guldur points toward a different truth. Strength and power are not always the same thing. Strength is visible. It can be counted in soldiers, weapons, and victories won upon the battlefield. Power, however, is often far more subtle. It shapes decisions before conflicts begin. It influences how people think, where they look, and what they fear. Dol Guldur was a perfect example of this distinction. Long before the War of the Ring erupted, the fortress was already affecting the choices of kings, councils, and entire realms. It forced enemies to react. It created uncertainty where certainty once existed. It encouraged caution, hesitation, and distraction. Without striking a single blow, it altered the behavior of those around it. That may have been one of Sauron's greatest talents. He understood that controlling attention could be as valuable as controlling territory. Fear could accomplish what armies sometimes could not. Viewed through that lens, Dol Guldur becomes more than a chapter in the history of Middle-earth. It becomes a lesson in how influence operates in the shadows, which leads us toward one final, unsettling realization. At the beginning of this journey, the question seemed simple. Why did Sauron choose Dol Guldur? The common answer was that he needed a place to hide while recovering his strength. Yet as we followed the shadow through Mirkwood, that explanation began to feel incomplete. Dol Guldur was more than a refuge. Its position allowed it to influence entire regions. Its growing darkness attracted the attention of powerful enemies. Its presence revived ancient fears buried deep within the memory of Middle-earth. Whether intentionally or not, the fortress became a force that shaped decisions, redirected focus, and altered the course of events long before the War of the Ring began. Perhaps it is what makes Dol Guldur so fascinating. History is often remembered through great battles and famous victories. Yet the fate of Middle-earth was also shaped by quieter choices, by locations that seemed unremarkable at first glance, and by strategies hidden beneath the surface of recorded events. The Hill of Sorcery stands as a reminder that influence can be more powerful than conquest, and that fear can travel farther than any army. Even now, when we look back upon the story, a sense of mystery remains, not because the events themselves are unknown, but because their deeper meaning is still open to interpretation. Perhaps the greatest secrets in Tolkien's world are not hidden in what happened, but in why it happened.